Welcome to the Pampered Thoughts podcast, where we are inspiring and encouraging women to love themselves as they are without shame or guilt, focusing on topics such as self-love, marriage and family, balance in life and business, and all things woman. Every week, we'll share inspirational topics that focus on helping you to overcome your struggles and limitations with lack of identity, low self-esteem, self-love, confidence, and so much more. I'm your host, Veronica, a wife, mom, speaker, entrepreneur, and more importantly, a daughter of the King. Hey, y'all. Welcome to today's episode. I hope y'all had a grand and pampered week. I had a good week. I enjoyed my week. I'm looking forward to the weekend because I've had a busy week, but the weekend allows for me to be able to just rest and relax, and I'm looking forward to that. I have a lot of things in store for you guys and planning for you guys, and I'm just excited about all of it. And so, if you are new to the Pamper Thoughts podcast, welcome to our humble abode. If you're a part of the Pampered Princess family, thank you so much for being a part, and thank you for chilling with me today. I love it. It means a ton to me. If you've been here before and you haven't become a part of the Pampered Princess family, go ahead, go to the website www.pamperedthoughts.com and become a part of the Pampered Princess family. I call us princesses because we all are daughters of the King. And thank y'all so much for joining me and just really being a part of the family. If you haven't done so already, I'm going to keep saying this every time. Go, please subscribe, share, rate, review the show, especially if you like it. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Pampered Thoughts and Twitter at I Am Pampered. I definitely want to know how you're loving the show, how you're liking the show. If you have questions for the show, eventually one day I want to be able to answer your questions and thoughts and just really hear what you guys have to say in regards to the show. And I want you to be a part as well. It's not just for me to express my thoughts, to express what I go through and to tell my story, but I know that you all have a story too. At one time, I thought that I didn't have a story. I thought that because I lived in a two-parent household, none of them were on drugs. I was never on drugs, never, an alcoholic, never had any horrible things happen in my life. I thought that I did not have a story, but I do have a story. And I know that you have a story too, because your story may be completely different from mine. You may have had a lot of things go on in your life, and you may be like me. Your story doesn't look like everyone else's, and you've had a good life, but that's still a blessing. That shows that the Father has kept us, that He allowed us to be protected from certain things, because you'll never want to go through some of the things and some of the stories that I hear that people have gone through, but it all works out in the good for each and every one of us. And if you have a story, you can definitely reach out to me. I would love to hear your story. And even if you want to share your story on the podcast, I am setting up a Be a Guest page on the Pamper Thoughts. But as of right now, you can just reach out to me at show@pamperthoughts.com, and I would love to hear your story. I'm sure the ladies would love to hear your story as well. And so I'm just excited about today's show because I really just want to encourage you guys today, because I know we've heard that just go ahead and throw the whole 2020 away. Just throw it all away. Just get rid of it. I know I've heard it a dozen times. I've probably said it a few times myself earlier in the year. Like what you've heard so far? Great. Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the show. But I know for Many of you, you've had New Year's resolutions. Your plans have probably changed because of our unwanted guest, Miss Rona, deciding to pop by and come into the house without calling first. But I know that this year, we're still in 2020. And from the beginning of the year, we've had a ton of bad news, but we don't have to end the year with bad news. I know that there's so many things that the Father desires to do with each and every one of us, and there's a purpose for what's going on in this time and in this season, even though it may be an uncertainty, even though we may not understand what it is we're going through or why we're going through this or what's happening at this point in time. We can always look to the brighter side. We can always look to see that the glass is half full, that we don't have to walk around in negative thoughts or with negative thoughts. We don't have to walk around in sadness. We don't have to walk around in depression. We don't have to walk around with our heads hanging low because things didn't go the way as they were planned. At one time, I didn't believe this. At one time, I went through life in a daze because I just didn't like my life. However, I've grown out of that, and the Father has helped me out of that. And I just want to encourage you all today to let you know that you don't have to walk around that way either. We still have 3 months left in this year. And there's so much that can be done in 3 months' time. And I'm a living witness that the Father will take care of you if you give all of your cares to Him, if you give all of your heart to Him, if you pour out your feelings unto Him. He already knows what you're going through, He already knows the things that you may be feeling. He already knows and He understands. And even though this year looks crazy, we've had so much going on, from fires to earthquakes to flooding and storms and hurricanes, and it's just been so much chaos around us. But if we just keep our eyes focused on the Father, if we just keep our eyes focused on the peace of the Prince of Peace, and we look for the positive in everything. One of the things about an optimist, or about a person who always looks at the glass half full, is that they focus on the things that they want in life, and they look for ways to achieve what it is they want to achieve. So why don't you to start building a positive mindset? Think of some things that you've wanted to achieve that maybe you thought of last year, but things changed this year. Don't throw those plans away. Don't throw those goals away. Think on those things and see what kind of ways you can achieve it, just with a different plan, and remain confident that you will achieve them. Also, another thing is that because we're in a difficult situation, an optimist, or a person who has positive thinking all the time, is going to look for the good in the situation. We can look for the good in everything. We can see the good. If you woke up this morning, that's a good thing. That's a blessing. If you are able to walk on both of your legs, you have both of your feet, you have all of your toes, all of your fingers, both of your hands and your arms. If you can think clearly, and if you can see, if you can taste, if you can hear, all of these things are things that we take for granted. Some people laid down to go to sleep. They put on their alarm before they went to sleep, but their alarm didn't wake them up because they never woke up that next day. So we can always find something positive. We can always find something good in our lives, even if it's just, thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you that I'm able to breathe. Okay. Thank you that I'm able to use my hands, that I'm able to walk on my feet. Thank you that I'm able to think clearly in my right mind, that I haven't gone insane because of all of this chaos that is around me. If we give our thoughts to positive thinking, and just really thinking and being grateful of how the Father has blessed us, of how the Father has looked down upon us, and we're still here, we're still safe, we're still covered. that's a blessing in and of itself. And sometimes we can take the little things that we do for granted and not realize that the Father has been with us the whole time. And so I didn't really have a whole lot to say today. I just wanted to encourage you, to let you know that the year is not over yet, that we still have 3 more months in this year where we can turn things around going into the next year. Not that we're living in the future, but we're acknowledging and we're accepting the present to where we are right now. And we're seeing how we can best move forward and how we can move forward positively and just giving over our cares unto the Father. For He says for us to cast our cares upon Him because He cares for us. And so, because He cares for us, He is going to make sure that all things are added unto us. All things are taken care of for us. He never said that things would be easy. He never said that things would not happen that we don't like. But because He watches over us and He keeps us, He will always make a way of escape for us. He will always bring us through whatever we felt like we weren't able to go through. And so I just wanted to encourage you today to keep your head up, to keep your heart open, to seek the Father, pray, and just put your trust in Him. Just put your care in His hand. Let Him take care of whatever the situation is. And don't pray in faith and then negate your prayer by doubting Him to do what you've asked Him to do. Just have the confidence that He's going to do what you've asked Him to do, but also know that faith without works is dead. So there's going to be some work that you have to do on your end. But if you give it all over to Him, if you let Him take on the negativity, let Him take on those responsibilities that may be too hard for you, let Him give you wisdom in how to handle those things. And if you're taking on more than you should be, let Him reveal that to you and just trust that He has your back, and it will allow you to walk positively. It'll allow you to be joyful, to be more positive about life. And so, with that being said, I thank you for just being with me today. And until next time, stay pampered. Thanks for joining us this week on the Pampered Thoughts podcast. Be sure to visit us at www.pamperedthoughts.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, or RSS, so you'll never miss a show. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Pampered Thoughts and on Twitter at I Am Pampered. As always, subscribe to the show to catch a new episode every week. And if you found value in the show, please leave a rating on iTunes and tell a friend about us. We want to continue to bring you the episodes you love. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, stay pampered.